What's up, YouTube? It is your boy JB, and we are here today with the review for The Real Housewives of Orange County. This is season 16. This is episode number 8. The episode is titled Sex, Lies, and Pornography. Yeah, we can't put that in the title on YouTube because they are gonna flag that like ain't shit. But hey, before we get into this review, guys, if you guys are watching this video or any other on the channel and are not subscribed to the channel, I'm gonna need you guys to do me a solid favor and stop taking me out on this date and having me pay for it at the end of it. Do me a favor by liking the video, you guys, turning on your notifications, sharing the video, subscribing to my channel. And with that out the way, you guys, without further ado, let's discuss The Real Housewives of Orange County, shall we? All right, you guys, so we pick up where we left off in the last episode of Real Housewives of Orange County 2 weeks ago, right? So, you know that they're in Cabo, and I'm thinking to myself, like, damn, how hot is it in Cabo? Because, I mean, Emily's sweating, Gina's sweating, and Noella's sweating, right? I still do have an issue with the fact that it just, to me, it feels that Gina and Emily are kissing Heather's ass. It just, to me, feels that they're kissing her ass. And I'm just kind of confused as to why. Why are we kissing Heather's ass? Why does it feel like the ladies are afraid of Heather? I just don't understand it, right? So we move back to Orange County. All the men are hanging out. We see Terry's hanging out with Shane, Gina's man Travis, and John Shannon's guy, right? So they're talking. They're asking. Terry's asking Shane. No. Terry's asking John and Travis about marriage with Gina and with Shannon. So moving back over to Cabo, Emily asked Shannon the question of if she and John were to have a threesome, who would they have one with, right? Shannon says that she and John wouldn't do it, right? She says she's asked John about if he's had a threesome, and he says he doesn't really want to bring anyone into their bedroom, right? And some people like that, some people don't. It's just really however you feel. If you feel uncomfortable bringing someone into your bedroom or your relationship, then don't. If you feel like it could help your relationship, do what you want to do, right? Also, you guys, speaking of threesomes, right? In this episode, so you guys, I left a post on my community tab about me doing a podcast, right? And it is going to be more of, it'll be stuff that I don't talk about on YouTube. So I want you guys to tell me some things that you guys would love to hear from me, like just it's going to be adult themed, you guys, right? And no topic is off subject, right? So we can talk about so many different things on that podcast. The podcast is I already have it set up. I don't know when I'm going to go live with it, but the podcast is set up. So the podcast will be called what is the podcast? I already have the name of the podcast, and I think I might change the name of it. But the podcast is named The Quiet Storm with JB, right? And I do have an email, so if you guys want to email questions to me, the email, I will put it in the description bar below because I don't remember it right off the top of my dome, right? But I think it's The Quiet Storm. I think it's The Quiet Storm with JB at gmail.com. But I'll put it on the screen, and then I'll put it on the screen for you guys. So yeah, let me know what you guys. So yeah, if you guys want to, you guys can email whatever you want. If you want me to talk about certain things, like if you guys want to send me things to read, like if you guys have stories that you want to, it'll be fun. It'll be like story times. It'll just be a good time. So we'll work with it, right? But hey, getting back to the show. So things start to go left with the women, right? But I realized why things were going left with these women because hell, they were all drunk, right? Noella's drunk, Gina's drunk, Emily's drunk, Shannon is drunk, right? Now I don't know about Jen and Heather. I don't know if they were drunk, but I know the rest of the ladies were drunk, right? Because at one point, Gina and Noella were going at it with each other. I know Heather put her hand on Gina's forehead, and Noella made mention to that. Then she put her hand on Emily. Emily had this thing wrapped around her forehead. I was just like, what is going on? Then Gina and Emily got upset, walked off. Shannon had to bring Emily back. I was like, what in the is going on? Once again, like I said, they asked us, we're lit. So we're gonna move forward, you guys. All right, guys. So then the next day we see the ladies. So they split up, right? So it's going to be Gina, Emily, and Noella. They're going to go to a sweat lodge, right? And then we have Heather, we have Jen, we have Heather. I said there. We have Heather, Jen, Shannon, and Heather's friend. What was her name? Whatever her name was, I forgot what the woman's name was. No shade to that woman. They're going out looking for houses, right? So, mind you, like I just said before, I don't know how hot it is in Cabo, and I don't know what time of year they went, right? But the sweat lodge, right? It looked like it was just a little bitty teepee or a little hut, and they went in there, and you can see them. I mean, they were sweating, right? And I think at one point they showed what the temperature was inside of that sweat lodge. It was 102 degrees. I was like, oh, no, 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 no. Like, I'm used to 100-degree weather living here in Texas, right? I'm used to that shit. I hate it. I'm like, is it and it looked like it was really dry. I was like, oh, that looked like it's a dry heat. I can't do dry heat. That's why I don't do Texas. That's why I don't do Houston sometimes, especially during the summer. I just don't do the dry heat. It's uncomfortable. It's unbearing. It's unbearable. No. So, while in that sweat lodge, there are, I guess, is bringing up some emotions because Noella is crying, and so is Emily. And I think maybe Gina was feeling her energy as if she kind of like an empath, right? And at one point, Noella passed out. I was like, oh shit. And I'm pretty sure it was the heat, it was that alcohol in her system, and on top of what all she's going through in her personal life that caused her to pass out, right? Meanwhile, we have the other ladies. We have Heather, her friend Jen, and Shannon looking at the houses, right? They looked at this one house. I know it had 7 bedrooms. I forgot how many bathrooms it had in it. It was $13 million, right? Beautiful house. It has a view of the ocean, two oceans, right? It has a pool that wraps around. I was like, damn, that's nice, right? So then they went and looked at this land, right? And they looked at the land. The land itself is $8 million. And then if they build on it, that would be a total of $15.5 million. I was like, damn, can I just marry somebody rich? Like, can I just marry somebody rich, please? Like, that's all I want. Whew. So then we move back over to Emily and Gina, right? And Noella. So we see them, they're sitting on the beach, right? They were supposed to go back to the house, take a shower, sit out by the pool, have margaritas, right? 1 hour later, we see Gina and Emily in the room snoring. So then we see them on the beach, right? So they're talking. And, Emily got a big ass mouth because Emily let it slip that, the only reason that Noella was invited to Cabo is because Gina had to beg, and I use air quotes, she had to beg Heather to, invite her on this trip. Technically, producers pay for this, so she didn't have to beg her, but for the storyline purposes, she had to beg her, right? So Noella didn't know that. She does now. So then we found out a little bit more about Emily. So Emily has dipped her toe in the quote-unquote lady pond. I was like, oh, I can see it. So let's move back over to the other lady. So we see Jen, right? You guys remember Jen told us in the last episode that she has, the bone issue, right? So she tells us she takes her medication and she works out. So she was in pain. So she went back, and when she was on the phone with her husband, Ryan was very nonchalant about what she was telling him. I was like, dude, your wife is sitting here telling you that she's in pain, and you ain't paying her like the slightest bit of attention. Like, so insensitive. Like the fuck? If I was Jen, I would have hung up on him right then and there when he can't even show any kind of emotion. Like, I'm sitting here crying on the phone with you. I'm telling you I'm in pain, and you act as if you don't give a shit. Show some kind of empathy, sympathy. What he was showing was a lack of anything. But hey, she deals with it. Wouldn't be me. So we're gonna move on, you guys, and wrap up the episode. So the end of the episode, the ladies, this is gonna be their last dinner in Cabo, right? Now we did see them, they went and did a little tequila tasting. They didn't show that much, so they then went and sat down to have dinner, right? Once again, you know, the heat plus the alcohol, I think that's what's causing a lot of the issues with the women. I think that's what it is. And also, like I said, I wonder, like with Heather and with Jen, are they drinking or are they not drinking? Because we know that Shannon is drinking, we know that Emily is drinking, we know that Gina is drinking, and we know that Noella is drinking. But I can't say for sure if Jen and Heather are drinking. Those are the two that I can't say yes, they're drinking, no, they're drinking. I'm just kind of stuck, right? So Gina and Emily got up to go to the restroom, right? Because, Gina said that she hadn't been holding it, right? So then Heather and Jen had a conversation because they kind of bonded over the fact that they had C-sections. I don't know how that pertains to Gina holding her bladder, but hey, it pertains some way, somehow, right? So then Jen and, like I said, Jen and Heather, they were talking. In this scene, I liked what Heather said to Jen about the conversation that she had with Ryan. He can't read your mind. So what you need to do is you need to tell him how you feel, what you're thinking. Express yourself to him and be able to express yourself in a way that it doesn't, it doesn't seem like you're being condescending, talking down to him. Just be able to express yourself. Tell him like, hey, I feel this way. And then, also have it be, an open forum where he can express how he feels as well. I think that will work best for both of them, but hey, it ain't got nothing to do with me. It ain't my marriage. So then we see Shannon. So Shannon is talking to Noella, right? And she's asking Noella about the situation that happened the night before with Emily, Gina, and Noella, right? Remember when they got up and walked away from the table because they were arguing? And Shannon was like, have y'all got past it? Have y'all talked about it? And she was like, no, we haven't really talked about it, right? So then Gina and Emily came back to the table. So Noella says, have we moved past what happened last night? Emily was like, yeah, we've moved past it. And Gina was like, what is she talking about? She says the two of you got into an argument last night, and she's asking, have you guys gotten past it, right? So then Shannon had something that she wanted to say, right? And they wouldn't let Shannon speak. And actually, Noella was kind of shutting Shannon down, right? So when that happened, Shannon was like, you know what, fuck it, I gotta go pee. So they were like, Shannon, what's going on? She says, I gotta go pee. So Shannon left her, right? So Gina and Noella started having a conversation, right? Now, granted, I will say one thing about Noella. From what it looked like to me with that situation, it seemed like Noella didn't really want to talk about that situation, and she was trying to diffuse it, and she's trying to dead it, and she was like, we've moved past it. And then Heather says, really, Noella, we're doing this here? And she's like, don't tell me what to do. She's like, see? But I was like, Heather, maybe I'm seeing anything. If you guys see something different, let me know. But like I said, to me, it seemed like Noella didn't want to have that conversation there. And then for Heather to say, really, here, now? So then that segued for Noella to mention the fact that she was a pity invite. And Heather was like, you weren't a pity invite. And she was like, I didn't want to invite you because you gave my daughter pornography. And Noella's face was like, what? I gave her pornography. So Heather went on to explain about the cards that, Noella had given her daughter, right? And Noella says that, what happened was she went on Amazon, she typed in LGBTQ plus gift, and that popped up, right? So And I'm pretty sure what happened is she probably ordered it off Amazon, came to her house, and she wrapped it or whatever and presented it to Max. She never opened it, so she didn't know what the card said. So then Heather then starts reading off of what some of the cards says, and she was like, "Oh my God." And I will agree with one thing with Noella, right? Because Heather said you gave her daughter pornography. That wasn't pornography, right? That was just a card game that had sexual acts in it. So it technically wasn't pornography. But I mean, I guess it's up to your interpretation of what you consider pornography to be, right? And everyone kept telling Noella that she needed to apologize, right? I got what they were saying, but also I can see, like, what Noella could have said, right? Noella could have said, you know what, Heather, like, after, especially, she could have said, I didn't give your daughter pornography. She could have said, you know, I looked up LGBTQ plus gift and I ordered it. It was, you know, I didn't know that it could have been, you know, I didn't know that it was inappropriate, right? I never opened the cards up. But, you know, with you reading, especially after she read them, she could have said, you know, once you read them to me, I do apologize, right? That wasn't my intent. I wasn't trying to be inappropriate. Because when you listen to, I mean, they had to bleep out everything that she was saying. And I'm like, damn. And one of them, I caught it. It was something, it was, suck a dick while getting your dick sucked. I was like, oh, what the hell? And honestly, those cards sound like they're for either a couple or swingers or people who are in a poly relationship, because I was just like, wow. Wow. But hey, it is what it is. But you could have just said, you know, I didn't know that they were inappropriate, right? I just went on Amazon, did a search for them, and I bought them. I didn't know that they were inappropriate, but you know, I do apologize for that, right? That was not my intent to give her some cards that were sexually suggestive and inappropriate. That wasn't my intention, right? Now, also, Noella, you should have. I mean, don't card games have, well, certain cards, right? Certain, even with games, they have ratings. Lesson learned. Don't just buy the first thing you see. Look at the reviews of what it says. But hey, that's it, you guys. Let me know what you guys thought about this episode. Please drop down in the comments and let me know what you guys thought about the episode. Subscribe to the channel, turn on your notifications, share the video, and until the next one, you guys stay safe. Take care of yourselves. Wash your hands, wear a mask, socially distance, be blessed, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.